Battle of Landshut took place on 21 April 1809 between the French Württembergers and Bavarians under Napoleon, which numbered about 77,000 strong, and just 36,000 Austrians under General Johann von Hiller. Slightly ahistorical, we included Saxons. The Austrians were retreating after a French victory 5 days prior and withdrew on Landshut. Napoleon believed that this was the main Austrian army and ordered one of his marshals, Lannes, to pursue the enemy. Lannes' troop caught up with Hiller on the 21st. Hiller had decided to defend Landshut to allow his baggage train to withdraw. At Landshut, the Isar River was spanned by 2 bridges with a small island in the center. Hiller had positioned cavalry outposts to the north of the town. His main force was deployed in Landshut to the south on higher ground. Early in the morning, Hiller was informed that a French force of 57,000 men had crossed the Isar upstream at Moosburg. Messina led this force. Hiller realized that he would be unable to hold his position for long as Messina was trying to block him from escaping. At this point, his cavalry were forced back by Lannes' troops, and the Austrians were pushed back into Landshut. The French now quickly seized the northern bridge over the river, and the Austrians withdrew to the main part of the town to defend the southern bridge. Austrians tried to set fire to the second bridge, but owing to rainfall over the previous days, this was only partially successful. However, the Austrians did manage to close the gates at the end of the bridge. The French were now faced with attacking across a smoldering bridge. Napoleon ordered his aide to assume command of the attacking grenadiers of the 17th line. In the face of Austrian heavy fire from all sides, Mouton ordered his men to attack without firing their muskets. The grenadiers reached the gateway and broke it down, allowing Bavarian troops to quickly reinforce the breach. The fighting now continued in the streets of Landshut itself. However, the French crossed the bridge immediately to the west of the town and were now entering Landshut from the south. Here's Jason with our mission briefing.
Landshut. So basically, setting this up, here's how it was. This is the Isar River that runs through the middle of it's the border between Austria and Bavaria. And so what happened is Austria declared war and started invading Bavaria. Bavaria was a client state of France at the time. And so France took it as the opportunity to kind of spank Austria. So France quickly, they were kind of disorganized at first, but then they quickly invaded. So what we're looking at here is this is west, and this is east, and then north and south. And so we're on the north side of the river. French, of course, came in different divisions, or actually corps along the way. We're playing divisional level. So, and then also they had the help of the Bavarian army, which wasn't all that big, but it was, the Bavarians were ready for kind of some payback. This is part of Bavaria, and 3 days prior, the Bavarians occupied this position, and the Austrians came and run them out. So now the Bavarians are kind of raring for some revenge at this point. So basically, what we have is, from that end over there, we have Napoleon, and he's riding with the army. I can't remember the general who led that particular division. Over here you have Messina, who's going to start right here behind these fields, and he is tasked right away. He's going to start on the board, tasked right away for assaulting the Austrians who are occupying the town and occupying this area. They're the rear guard, and this blue tape, which is not a very great solution, but it is, represents earthworks that they've already dug to hold the town. Okay, so you have Messina, you have the Bavarian army is coming in right here, and then you have another general with Napoleon riding with him coming in on that road on that end, and then right here you have the last remnants of the Austrian army coming down this road. And so this is kind of everybody comes in on stages, so that the fight will, gradually build up. The objective of the French is to drive the Austrians out of this town and capture this bridge. Okay. There is a smaller bridge that was meant more as like a footbridge and agricultural bridge at this end. This bridge is not critical because it's fairly small, And if they were to take a whole bunch of materials across it and really use it, it'd probably collapse. So, but it is available to be used to cross the river if need be.
Can artillery cross?
What's that?
Can artillery cross?
Artillery can cross here, yeah. Just if an army tried to cross it, it might be a different story. So again, the French's objective is to drive them out of here and to capture this bridge. Okay. Bavarians have their own kind of objective, though they're not traitors or by any means, that kind of stuff. The Austrians, of course, want to hold this because they messed up and they have a rather large supply train that is coming down this road. And they want to get it across the river as quick as they can and get it over here so it's safe. And then there is an Austrian army division that is guarding that and bringing it on. But also, this Austrian division will be tasked with slowing the advance of them so that this is more of a closer fight. So they are outnumbered here just by what's coming across the board here. But they'll be demolished if these guys reach. So these guys have to get the supply train across the river and help to stop them. So it's kind of a two. Oh, special rules. So we're playing around with some special rules for this one. And, oh, here it is, back here. So we're going to be using a general intervention from the rule book. Linear doctrine, because two of the armies that are going to be fighting are going to be linear doctrine. At about turn 6, which is like hour 6 or something like that, it starts raining. So we're going to be dealing with wet ground, which makes powder wet, which kind of makes things difficult, which will be interesting because we've never played it before. And then also irregular formations so that people can move down the road and not have to be straight and all that kind of stuff in their formations. But we are trying some optional rules, which would be fun. Road movement. So if you start on a road and you're in march formation and you head down the road, infantry are going to get 2 additional base widths for traveling on the road if they're marching down the road. And that's just an arbitrary number I threw out there. We might play with it in the future. Cavalry and horse artillery will get 3 additional base widths for traveling down the road, which I think should be more, but we'll just play with that for now. The other thing I'm trying out is a thing called impending momentum. And that is that if you decide to pass, it costs you a momentum point. But whereas before, if you passed, you couldn't do anything until after your opponent did something. Now, if you spend a momentum point to pass, the very next phase, if you haven't got an interrupt, you can go again. But it does cost you a momentum point. And then the big one that I really like is supply. So I've always felt like we're not playing a full game by not playing with supply. So what we're doing is, it's not going to affect the infantry or the cavalry, it's going to affect the artillery. And that is that on a bombard roll, let's say you have artillery has 3 dice, you roll, every time you get a 6, your supply goes down because you're just throwing ammunition out the door like it, or down the barrel like it's going out of style. Each player is going to get 4 supply points per battery that they have. So if they have, let's say, 4 batteries, they're going to get 16 supply points. And then they get an additional D6. So you could start out with a lot of supply, and maybe we won't run out of it if we're doing like extended bombardments, maybe. And depending on how you roll, of course. Also, we allowed for allied players to trade their stuff with their ammunition with each other. So again, we're just trying it out. It should be fun. So I hope so. And then
As many as you do.
Turn 1.
Well, there's my skirmish roll.
2 generals
You got
deployed.
4? Yes, out of
What the hell,
that many.
Byron?
Oh, look, by jiggling, I came up with 2 more.
Turn 1 skirmish roll, French 4 to Austrian 2. Here the Saxons baggage train coming in on that south road, and we have to get across that bridge in the background. You can see my cavalry forming out in column to help delay Napoleon, who's expected to enter across from me. This is that long south road that I'm going to have to get through to that intersection in the thick of battle and cross that bridge to the right. This is the town of Landshut, the Austrians behind earthworks there and garrisoning the town. He's also put out some delaying cavalry there to help spoil Byron's cavalry attack on the supply train. This is the combined Bavarian and French forces. Coming up is Napoleon's army waiting in the wings. I failed to capture turn 2 skirmish die roll that was 2 French to 2 Austrian, resulting in a roll-off with French winning the roll-off, and you can see some bombardment right there. There's my Saxon column trying to get across that south bridge as fast as possible, still in march and still not contributing to any skirmish die rolls. Here's some Bavarians bombarding into the town of Landshut with the artillerist general intervention applying. I believe this is looking east towards Byron's cavalry moving out to try to help the incoming French. There's some Austrians in reserve on the south side of the river and looking north from Landshut into the teeth of this giant combined Bavarian and French army. That's Byron's French coming to assist Napoleon in coming in with his long march train, trying to also capture the town of Landshut. Unfortunately, Byron will end up being a little too late. My cavalry formed up and ready for the charge. And here's a nice overview of the whole battlefield. Turn 3 skirmish, 6 French to 2 Austrian. So I was rolling pretty hot. This is the 2 French attacking my Saxon heavy cavalry. And I rolled a 6, he rolled a 1. I got an upset victory on one of those. That's a scoop. And it was 13 to 11, looks like. So I'll bounce with the other. Now here on the complete other side of the battlefield, the Austrians going against the Bavarian cavalry here, taking the initiative, attacking 2 on 1. Austrians with a 10, French with a 10, and Austrians with a 9 and a 13. The Saxons crawling closer to Landshut. And here's Byron's belated cavalry assistance. He'll fight, but it just won't be enough. Napoleon unlimbering right in front of me to give my light cavalry a whiff of the grape. Here come some more patented Byron outrageous volley rolls. Yeah, so that's 5 hits into the first unit behind the earthworks, and I believe this is going to be another 5 hits to the garrisoned unit in the town of Landshut. Right now they've got 2 on them. Here's his last firing. That's 665. Total of 5 hits in the garrison. Now he's going to try to convert them. I think he needed 5s for these. Just 1 looks like. Nope, 3 perhaps. Might have needed 4s. And only 1. looks like for the garrison. Meanwhile, the famous Saxon cavalry are doing what they're supposed to do and delay and causing Napoleon's infantry at the tail end of his column to square up, further delaying them from entering Landshut. And here's some big volleys coming into light cavalry. Here's turn 4 skirmish, with the Bavarians John contributing 4 and unusually Byron only contributing 1, bringing their total to 5, and Joe with his predictable skirmish value of 2. And of course, since I'm still in March, I contribute nothing. My general intervention was steadfast, so I was able to defend quite well, but not good enough. I bounced there off Byron, and here I'm facing more really significant volley fire into the light cavalry, but none convert. At the start of turn 5, the French skirmish value was 8, the Austrian skirmish value was 2. Here we are in turn 5 bombardment. Now here comes some more crazy die rolls from Byron, the luckiest die roller in the world. Look at all those 6s. He still hasn't run out of ammo despite, because he rolled a 6 initially for the ammo, but good lord, those are all, I believe those are all volleys. I think those are bombardments from all of his cannon in those wheat fields coming into the Austrians. I think only 4 converted there. Here we have fighting just on the suburbs of Landshut, with the Austrians meeting the French head-on coming out of their earthworks. I believe the Austrian objective was not to let the French into Landshut. The French trying to sneak around on the west side. There's some bounce from Bavarian cavalry, and this is the ultimate battle right here. This is where the rubber meets the road. Austrians versus a charging French. And Austrians rolled fantastically, causing the French to scoop 2 units. Very unusual. More volleys. But I was able to charge a square successfully, and the cannon had to retreat. It was brutal. The Austrians have set the bridge alight to the south of Landshut. It won't become fully engulfed until next turn. Nevertheless, it will spoil the French advance across the river. And finally, the Saxons are getting into the fight on the western earthworks. More battles in the east. Bavarians coming in hard.
Go for it.
Each turn after the 5th, I get 5 points if I control the bridge south of Landshut. I most certainly do not. No. The one that's currently burning. So I don't get anything there.
No, it's fully engulfed now.
And then each turn after the 5th, I receive 3 points if I hold the wheat field west of Landshut. That's why I rushed across.
Ah, gotcha.
So I get 3 points for that. And then on turn 8, don't have to say that one yet. It's not turn 8. So go.
So I'm just reading that's turn 6. So each turn after the 5th, you will score 1 point for each battalion of infantry that are entirely within the Austrian deployment zone.
Oops.
Which I've been having a problem with.
Yeah, it's just a little problem with that. All right.
What'd you just read? I get an extra points if my battalions are within your deployment area. Which I haven't succeeded at yet.
Each turn after the 5th, you score 3 points for controlling the bridge and fields east of Landshut. I
do not.
You're not quite there.
Not quite there.
Rosif?
Only the one that has to do with the 5th.
I get, what do I get? I get 5 points if if you have a garrison still in the town, which means within the blue area.
Within the town.
Within the town.
So,
And what else?
that's all that applies at turn 5.
Okay.
And then mine is each turn after 5, you receive 5 points if you move the baggage train across the river and keep it intact. Each turn after the 5th, you receive 3 points if you prevent relief French division from entering the Austrian deployment zone.
It was good that the Austrian commander fired the bridge when he did, because this is representative of a collapse, basically, of the entire Landshut earthworks infantry division. All that French just about to pour in to the western side. Here's a photo of the overview of the battle on the west, and you can see the French starting to collide with the Saxons, and more Bavarians charging in there. We talked it out after turn 7, but Austrians finally won the skirmish roll 3-4.
Against that unit on that side.
What'd you think of the scenario, Jason?
Pretty good. I like it. I like it. You guys
You spent a lot of brain power.
really
trying to figure out
stopped
that
me
other-
in my
No,
tracks.
you get one more for being
blunt
outnumbered, so you have 4.
I'm lucky I got 2 elite troops way up there to the front. That's the
9 to
best I did
11,
running
so you'd
through
be
the
up
woods.
2.
But your cavalry,
You'd be up one more than what he is, yeah.
yeah, it put the
You're up
fear
3.
of force in me.
No, you'd be up one more. Because this is
What'd you think of the movie
against
Napoleon?
one.
To be honest with you, I liked
Be
it.
up against
If you're
one.
going there like to see a historical epic, it's historical adjacent.
It's still a scoop.
It captured a few things from like the life of Napoleon.
These guys are
It's very
screwed.
interesting.
Yeah.
The
I don't know
battles,
what to do with
forget
these
it. You're not.
guys.
You're
There
gonna
actually
see.
is none of the
You're gonna see
roll.
guys
You don't
shooting
have 2 to
muskets
1.
and cannons going off.
No, it'd be
by then.
1-to-1 roll
So
for that, because
don't
that's
get too excited
Let me
about
scoop
that.
these.
So scoop
but,
those.
the story was good. So, yeah. How about you?
Very tough to take it.
I'm going to say what you said about it. It's
What is the-
rollicking
And it wasn't
good
rock roll, so I
rom-com.
didn't take it
Right.
back.
Yeah. So
Absolutely phenomenal.
You're just gonna keep the camera on me and
Yep.
go get it.
mhm.
Great.
Or I could go get it and have it floating across in the air to me.
Do you have anything else?
Of Doom
Okay, do you have anything
goes
down
back
here,
to
Larry?
you once again, you schmuck.
I can fire artillery.
I had a drop dead time that I had to get home at 4:45 that day, and my wife kept reminding me by text and make sure that I was getting home. I knew that we had dinner plans, but I just wanted to be on time, be punctual for her. But little did I know I was walking into a surprise retirement party, as I had just worked my last shift in the emergency department.
And the career that we're celebrating, Dr. Shipman. This is a bittersweet celebration for me personally, and I know it is for everybody here. Grover, you've been there since the beginning for me, and I know when I first showed up, you really took me under your wings, and I learned a lot from you. And I know it's hard for you to be a center of attention, but I want you to know that everybody here is here because we all care very deeply about you, and we love you, and we all know that our community is going to miss you deeply, being in the ER. I know you cared for my family, and I'll have you care for my family again in a heartbeat.
We love you.
So we love you, man. Coming to your doorstep, man.
I just wanted to share that with all 150 of you viewers. That was a real touching moment in my life, and I just want to say it's been an honor to serve this small mountain community and all the visitors that have come through our hospital. And thanks for watching.